Okay, so when I was watching my timeline on YouTube, I did not know Rich Paul did an interview on Pat McAfee. I thought this was an old interview. I didn't pay it no mind, no attention, but I've been noticing a lot of content creators on YouTube is talking about this interview, and more importantly, what Rich Paul said in this interview. All right. So Pat McAfee, I guess all the big time stars are going to go to Pat McAfee because Pat McAfee is a safe space. They're allowed to say whatever they want to say without any pushback to Pat McAfee. Everyone's seen how he took care of Aaron Rodgers. He just let Aaron Rodgers just go off and just say what he wants to say. All right. And a lot of people, LeBron, noticing that a lot of big time stars that don't want to be ridiculed and don't want to answer the tough questions, they're going to go to Pat McAfee. And I already told you guys this. I think Pat McAfee is going to be the next Club Shay Shay, where all the big time athletes are going to go to his platform because it's a safe space. All right. So Rich Paul got on Pat McAfee and said the most idiotic thing imaginable. No one's checking him. No one is in the comment section calling Rich Paul ridiculous. No one's not doing all that. You know, you got LeBron James. Even the biggest LeBron James stan cannot co-sign fully to what Rich Paul said. And if you haven't heard, I will tell you. Rich Paul said when the Miami Heat, when it was Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James, he didn't believe that was a super team. All right? Because of Chris Bosh performance when he took his talents to South Beach along with LeBron James to Miami. Okay? These guys are trying to rewrite history so bad in the favor of LeBron James that they're going to even discredit the teammates that got LeBron James to get his first ring and his second ring. That was the first place LeBron James got his title. All right? So before they even formed the Big Three, LeBron James got drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers. The furthest he ever got that team to is an NBA Finals, and they got washed by the San Antonio Spurs. Ever since then, while he was there, he was getting bounced around by the Miami Heat. By the Boston Celtics. And in his final game, he took his jersey off and walked off. And then during that offseason, he took his talents to South Beach. So for the people out there to sit up there and think that LeBron James, and I've heard LeBron James say this, he was going to win titles anyway. How you going to win titles when you couldn't even get your own Cleveland Cavaliers team off the hump? You didn't have a clue on how to win a title. Not a clue. You're doing all these theatrics and signature. Everyone has their own individual signature handshake and dancing and all that. LeBron at that stage didn't know how to be a leader. He wanted to be a front runner, but he didn't want to be a leader. He wanted to be cool with everybody, but he didn't want to be a leader. He didn't know what it took to be a leader. Chris Bosh was in Toronto, was very successful with Toronto. He was an all-star in Toronto. As same as LeBron James, he was an all-star in Cleveland. But those two individuals couldn't even sniff a title. They didn't know how to win a title. Matter of fact, LeBron James couldn't even keep Carlos Boozer. Carlos Boozer was with Cleveland. He left Cleveland to join the Utah Jazz. So wait a minute. You got the biggest superstar, LeBron James, and Carlos Boozer went to the Utah Jazz? And what made matters even worse, LeBron was trying to recruit people to come to Cleveland. Now, there's this funny argument, this funny narrative of, well, I don't want to live in Cleveland. That's the real reason why he couldn't get no stars over there, because nobody didn't want to live in Cleveland. But everybody wants to live in Toronto, right? Everybody wants to live in Detroit, right? There are tons of cities that are not glamorous like Miami, Los Angeles, and New York, but people still go there and people win titles there. But that's further. That has nothing to do with what we're going to be talking about today. But you get my drift. LeBron couldn't win a title. Chris Bosh couldn't win a title. They both join up like Voltron to go to Miami. Dwayne already has a resume. If all three of them would have went to Miami and they didn't win a title and they broke the team up, Dwayne Wade would be good because he won a title. At least he won a title. He just didn't win it with the Heels. All right. So they went to South Beach. They formed the super team. Now, Rich Paul's argument is Chris Bosh, you couldn't really call him a superstar because he wasn't putting up superstar numbers. But what Rich Paul failed to realize is Chris Paul had no ego with him. All he was about is team. Chris Bosh could have easily averaged 20 and 10 with no problem. But he was doing whatever he had to do to satisfy the team. He put the team before his stats. He said it in numerous interviews and numerous podcasts. I don't understand why people haven't gotten the message. If you think Chris Bosh is not an all-star, you're smoking something. You have to be smoking something. All right? Dwayne Wade, like I said, already won titles. And Dwayne Wade put his ego to the side. Even though he was Wade County and all that. He said, you know what? I'm going to put my differences to the side. I'm going to put my opportunities to the side and give more opportunities to LeBron. Because I already been there and done that. LeBron hasn't. And when they did that, yes, they won 2 titles. I don't understand why Rich Paul is trying to push this narrative and this argument that LeBron would have won titles anyway, even if he didn't join Miami. But when you look at his years in Cleveland, he couldn't even sniff a title. What makes you think he would have, gotten over the hump and won a title on his own? And if he felt like he could win a title on his own, why is he joining up with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade forming Voltron to do the Heels? You have to ask yourself those questions. But to answer Rich Paul's question, yes, Chris Bosh was an all-star. And Chris Bosh could have easily said, look, I want to get mine. But no, he was thinking of the team first. But you see these people trying to change and rewrite history. LeBron has tried to do it for a certain extent. Rich Paul has. There's a lot of people in clutch media that's trying to rewrite history. But the facts are the facts. I don't care how many times you tell the story or how many different ways you tell the story. The story is the story. And I don't know what's going on with Rich Paul. I think it has a lot to do with LeBron. LeBron sees the end a lot sooner. I think LeBron realized he doesn't have another 5 years. And the only reason why people talking about him is he's still playing in the NBA. But even LeBron knows I can't do this forever. And then when I stop doing this, will people still talk about me? That's the big question. When his career is cemented, you're going to see a lot of people come out the woodwork and tell you how they really feel about LeBron James. And I don't think it's going to be a good time for LeBron James. LeBron James had a lot of inconsistencies, has a lot of blemishes that he's not going to be able to put a makeup foundation on. I mean, you can clearly tell. Look at his win-loss record in the NBA Finals. Look how the Dallas Mavericks just dismantled LeBron. Look, I mean, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of footage, and there's a lot of stories that one would assume is not clear-cut dry as far as him being the numero uno GOAT. But yeah, if he does not win a title this year, and I don't see him winning a title, if he does not win a title this year, I really think LeBron is really thinking about, okay, how should I end this? Should I end this playing 5 more years, never getting nowhere? Meanwhile, the team is not getting any better? Or do I just do my last ride, my last run, and play maybe 1 or 2 years and I'm out? Those are things you have to think about. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the flip side.